our final episode, we're doing something a little bit different to reflect the changing situation with the pandemic in our community. So with me today, my very special guest is Speaker of the House, Speaker Scott Saiki. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Della.
Thanks for joining us. So we just saw a clip of a vaccination center in Vice Speaker Mizuno's community. You know, public health has been such a huge priority of yours. Can you tell me a little bit about what's been happening with the vaccination centers here in Hawaii?
Yeah, it's just great to see that project at KKV. That was, that's exactly what our state needs. We need organizations and programs that are going to go into individual communities and vaccinate people.
Now, you took a leading role in setting up some of the larger vaccination centers here on Oahu. Can you share with us what some of the challenges were with that?
Yeah, so what happened was in December, a couple of days before New Year's, I got a call from Ray Vera at Hawaii Pacific Health and Jill Green at Queens, and they both said that they were interested in providing the resources to start up mass vaccination centers, and but they needed basically a state facility to do that. So we worked with them, and within a matter of about a week, we worked with them and identified a couple of sites. So HPH chose Pier 2 on Nimitz Highway, and Queens chose the Blaisdell Concert Hall, and they were able to start up their vaccination centers by mid-January, and it's just been a huge success because they are now able to vaccinate up to 8,000 people a day collectively. So they're both vaccinating about 3,000 people a day, 6,000 people total, if vaccine is available. But they have just made a huge dent in the vaccinations. And the other interesting thing is when we started our session on January 20, only about 20,000 people had received double doses at that point. But today, 102 days later, we're at 540,000 people in the state who have received double doses. And I think the Pier 2 and HPH's project and Queen's project really helped to increase that number.
And then what we saw happening on the neighbor islands was that we saw more vaccination sites opening up, modeled after what we have at Honolulu Pier.
Yes, because Queens and HPH have programs on neighbor islands. They also worked with community health centers on different islands, so they were able to expand. And I think it looks good. I think the projection is that hopefully Hawaii can be close to fully vaccinated this summer, midsummer.
So again, public health was really important priority for you. As we moved through the legislative session, there were things like safe travels, the pandemic orders. Any comments, any thoughts from you on either of those things as they developed during the legislative session?
Yeah, so I want people to understand that the House's position at the very beginning was that the health and safety of our residents was our top priority, that it was our top priority and it continues to be our top priority. It's health and safety. And and when you take that to the next level, that's really important, not just because people will be safe, but also because it will allow us to open our economy incrementally and safely. Once you have a solid public health infrastructure in place, then you're able to reopen the state.
So as we are seeing the state reopen, we're seeing numbers increase. Any thoughts on what's going to happen this summer as the inter-island travel quarantines and the governor's orders end, and so more travel will occur between the islands?
Yeah, so travel is, as everybody knows, travel is increasing really rapidly right now. Airlines are increasing seat capacity to Hawaii. There's so much pent-up demand from people in other states who want to visit Hawaii. So, again, when we started our session in January, there were about maybe 4,000 visitors who had arrived in Hawaii on January 20. A couple of days ago, it was 14,000 people in one day. So the numbers are increasing. We've made it clear to the visitor industry that they need to help play a role, a big role in making sure that tourism reopens safely for all of us. That they have to make sure that the hotels, all of the visitor organizations, that everybody understands the need for public health protocols, and just reminding visitors that they need to be safe here.
Now, right at the beginning of the pandemic, Speaker, you started up your COVID committee that was really kind of critical in making sure that we had these communications and these consistent messaging. So what's going to be happening to your COVID committee now?
Yeah, so you're also a member of the committee, and so I think it was great because the committee brought together people from different kinds of organizations, different kinds of backgrounds, from different islands, and I think everybody who served on that committee understood that there was a common purpose, which was to see how Hawaii gets out of the pandemic. And I think that's why it worked great, because everybody was on the same page. Going forward, I'm thinking that there will be an organization in the state that will help take the lead on that to continue that effort, so that the legislature doesn't have to do that.
And I think it was really important because, like you said, it brought people together from different sectors, but we could talk and communicate. And as problems arose, as there was confusion over the tier system, as there were questions about safe travels, it was really a forum to kind of air some of these issues. So moving forward, any more thoughts about some of the legislation we passed around, say, the penalty violations for emergency orders? Are you thinking that the governor is going to be signing those bills into law, and are we going to see some action from the governor?
Yeah, so one of the first bills that we approved and sent to the governor for approval was, I think it was Senate Bill 940 or Senate Bill 540, which addresses the penalties for people who violate emergency orders. But what the law will do, if it's approved by the governor, will basically allow the governor to set the penalty within the emergency proclamation. So, for example, if he says that a violation of a face mask order should be punished through a traffic ticket, then he can specify that in the proclamation.
So it gives the governor more flexibility, but allows us to continue these public health orders.
Yes.
And the governor did announce that he doesn't expect that the mask mandate is going to come down anytime soon.
Right.